You guys can go here, and I'll go here. Or sort of. I'll just do a little intro and then we'll go by.
That's good.
Right. Konnichiwa. Welcome to the pre-match press conference for New Zealand versus Canada. Make sure your phones are off, given what happened yesterday, or turn them down to silent so we don't have any random phone calls. We'll be having simultaneous translation coming from Tokyo, so we need to control the flow of the press conference, so I'll just ask you to just hold until the translation's finished before we get the next question. We have Ian Foster, one of the assistant coaches for New Zealand, Beauden Barrett and Richie for New Zealand. I will probably just open up quickly with Ian and just ask Ian, how's preparations going? It's been a bit of a break for you guys, but how are things going for tomorrow night?
Yeah, look, we've obviously had a decent time since the first game. It's been great to be at Bipu. We've had a fantastic welcome there. I don't think we'd describe it as a break. We've used it as a pretty intense period getting into what's going to be a very busy time coming up in the next 4 or 5 days. So excited to be here, love the stadium, look fantastic and can't wait for tomorrow.
So I'll just ask you to put your hands up high so we can get a microphone to you for your questions. Are there any questions? This could be a short press conference. We've got one right at the front here, the second row.
Hi, can you just talk us through the Ardie Savea glasses issue? First of all, in terms of the eyes, has he worn something in his eyes, contact lenses, playing up until this week?
Not to my understanding, no. So it's he's just had I think we've said everything in the release that he's had a lack of vision in one eye for a while, and he just feels this is the right time for him to protect the other one. So
there are no special lenses in these glasses, they're just purely for protection?
Yeah, purely protection. These are, to be fair, I don't know too much about the goggles, apart from the fact they're World Rugby approved goggles. We know some other players have worn them, and to me it's sort of it's the right move for Ardie, but it's great that if that helps protect an area that other people have an issue with, I think it's a great message.
Strange place to start though, isn't it, the World Cup?
Why is that?
Well, I would have thought if I was making changes, fundamental changes, whatever sport I'm in, don't you trial them somewhere else other than a World Cup?
Yeah, but when a player comes and says he felt his eye was getting a bit worse, do you not think it's the right thing to do the right thing for the player? So I think it's a very natural time.
Okay, we might open up to other questions. We have one at the front here. When's our closest microphone? Well done. Thank you.
Beauden, you've known Ardie for a long time. Have you seen him battling with it and I guess, I don't know, offered him support, or because I guess it's come as a bit of a surprise to us, but you know him well, having played with him for years?
It sort of makes sense because I've never thought of it until this point, but now that I've remembered certain trainings or games where he'd be sort of blinking a bit more than usual. So other than that, I can remember, scenarios or cases where, it just makes sense.
Then we had a question down the back. Down the back, is where the microphone down there, please. Yeah. Thank you.
Ian, what do you want to get out of the next 3 games before quarter-final stage? Obviously 3 wins, but beyond that, what are you aiming for?
Yeah, look, it's we've had 1 game in this tournament, so we're pretty focused on game number 2, to be fair, and I think we've stated that we've obviously got this one in Namibia in a 4-day period. That's a key time for us. So, I mean, what do we want to get out of the next 2 games? I'll just talk about the next 2 as such, but we've just got to keep building combinations. We've just got to keep building the tactical side of our game. We've got to keep we've got to learn about the conditions in this country. I mean, clearly the games have been influenced a little bit by the humidity and and how you play with the ball and what sort of game plan you fit around that ball. So all those, I mean, this Canadian game gives us a fantastic opportunity to try and grow where we think we're at. For us, it's a test match. It's a vital one that we go out and, one, get a result, and two, get the performance we want. So it's a pretty simple message.
Now we have a question here in the second row. Yep. Thank you.
Beauden, can I just take you back a few years? When you were part of the under-20s team back in 2011, you actually had 3 playmakers on the field. There was Gareth Anscombe, Lema Sopawanga and yourself playing at fullback. When you're watching the way this group is playing now using yourself and Richie, do you see any similarities? Are there anything from that under-20s that you kind of came flowing back to you when you were asked to do that sort of a role?
Yeah, I guess so, but we'd like to think that every back is a playmaker, so, you know, we all have the ability to make good, smart decisions, and we all have the skill sets to run, pass or kick at whatever time. So, in that tournament, there were 3 10s and 1 backline at the time, so I guess it's about adapting, and for Lima it was about playing 12 the best he could, and myself fullback. So we're always encouraged to be key decision makers. We don't really have playmakers, so to speak, in this team.
Go ahead.
On that, Beauden, and on the note of developing combinations, do you guys spend any extra time, I guess, off the field working on your combination, or even, I guess, just relationship-wise?
We've been rooming together this week. It's been an awesome week. What do you reckon, Rich?
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time. Obviously, we're roomies this week, and it's given us a good chance to talk about things that aren't related to footy, and ask how each other's family are doing and stuff like that. So it all helps for when we're on the field. You know, it builds a special bond, builds a friendship, and that we can trust each other. And when we're on the field, we're confident in what we're trying to do.
Any questions? We've got one right at the front. Yeah, thank you.
Ian, you obviously had the option of splitting Beauden and Richie over these 2 games, and you talked about it the other day that it was something you'd look at. You've decided not to. Steve mentioned yesterday that it was principally to give the guys another game, more familiarity, more time together. Can you just expand on that, and why you've continued the pairing, I guess, rather than split them?
Well, the answer is probably in the question in a lot of ways. It was just a chance to give them more time together. But cause just remember, we're not trying to grow. I know everyone's excited and talking about these 2 and the roles they play, but it's how we fit the whole team into the attacking model that we want to play. And so it's not just connecting 2 players, it's about connecting 15. And particularly the way we play, our midfield play a pretty important role with our decision making. So we're just trying to keep building the combinations that we've got, and look at all the permutations that we think we need through this tournament. So this is a great opportunity. We had a 10-day break after South Africa. So it seemed a natural time to carry on with a number of people. We got Jack Goodhue coming back from being out for a while. And so when you look at that, we kind of felt, well, we're given the team the consistency of a few players to make some decisions around, but also grow the ability of, Sonny and Jack and them, and have them fit in well and see what they can contribute. So it's it's not just about what suits these 2, it's about what suits our whole structure of how we make our game go.
Go ahead. Okay.
Beauden and Richie, yesterday Kieran made the comment that he basically does the coin toss and then he hands the team over to you guys. Said he might make the odd decision about putting the ball into a corner, taking a goal kick. When you hear your captain sort of basically having that much confidence in what you guys are trying to do, what does it do for you as a player? Not as a playmaker, but just as a player individually. Richie, if I can start with you and then get Beauden to answer it as well, please.
Yeah, I think it's awesome for myself having that confidence that, hey, look, the skip really believes in what I'm trying to do and what decisions I'm making for the team. And it's not something that just happens, you know. We all catch up during the week to make sure that we are on the same page so that we have plans for anything that can happen out in the field. And I think that's something that people don't see is the meetings that we have, that we just don't make these decisions just off the cuff. These are things that are well planned before, depending on how the game's going. So, look, it's awesome. It's part of my job as a 10 to make decisions, and I'm just really grateful and you know, that I've got help outside with Beauden and a skip that believes in the calls that we can make.
Yeah, just adding to that, I mean, we're all encouraged to find our own solutions for the team from numbers 1 to 15. So when we come together, it's not just us speaking in the huddles. We all have a responsibility to relay information and come up with those solutions. And, you know, even if it's a defensive solution or, you know, it could be an attacking solution. So, it does help when Rito gives us the license or the confidence to do that.
Beauden, question for the wide audience who's not very aware of rugby. Could you explain how difficult or more harder is it to kick under the rain technically, and does it add more trauma to the body, more effort when you kick under the rain?
Kicking in the rain?
Yes.
I guess the ball wouldn't fly as much as it would on a hot sunny day. The ball may tend to slip off the boot a little bit, so there is physics involved in it, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon, Foss?
I can't kick. What do you think?
Nah, neither.
Oh, look, I think the technology now with the ball is it doesn't make a lot of difference on the actual strike. You know, we've got great boots. The balls are pretty well equipped to deal with the wet. I think Barrett hit on there. It's more the atmospheric conditions. You know, like it doesn't fly as far.
For the negative body trauma?
Oh, I don't think so. I think you know, the whole rehab work that you do with your kickers is pretty immense nowadays to build up strength in that area. We manage load, and I think if you're kicking too much during a week, that it can certainly impact on you. But you might you might reduce the amount of load you do in a wet week, hypothetically. But
So we've got one in front here.
Just a question for Richie. Can you give us an insight, please, just as a key decision maker in the team, you know, given it's the World Cup and a lot of the focus is on you, is there anyone within the team or the coaching that you talk about it with, about what's ahead of you and how you're dealing with it?
Yeah, you're looking at a few up here, Fozzie and Baz, and like I said, Skip, these are conversations that we're having so that I'm not out on the field isolated and feel like I'm making these decisions on my own. These are decisions that are calculated on what our game plan is and what's happening out on the field, or how many points we're behind or how many points we're in front. So everything's thought about, and it's not just on my shoulders to make decisions, and everyone's looking at me thinking, what do we do next? It's very group conversations. We're talking about solutions, what we need to go do next and what our next focuses are. And when you're out in the field, some of them come from upstairs and some of them come from ourselves. It's just about working as a collective to try and nail the next game plan.
Now we've got one here, and then we'll take one down the back. Just here.
Richie, I think Sonny played outside you in Wellington against the Box. Can you just explain what it's like playing with a big guy like Sonny outside you and the opportunities he may create?
I think it's quite it's a reality check to, you know, how small I am actually when you're playing next to someone like Sonny. You know, playing out inside Crotts isn't too bad, quite similar in height, but no, Sonny's awesome. He's world class. He's very genuine with his prep, and when I play with him, he's genuine in asking me if there's anything that he can do to help me and make my job easier. So I love playing inside Sonny and having a big body there for doesn't mind coming in and taking a few tackles for me, so I love it. He's awesome.
And we've got a Japanese journalist on the back.
地元の大分合同新聞です。ボーデン・バレットさんに聞きたいんですけれども、1週間別府でキャンプしてこられましたが、キャンプに向けて別府市はハイレベルなラグビーに対応できる芝を用意しようと熱心に準備してきたんですが、練習をしてみてですね、実際に芝の状態はどのように感じたかというのと、トップレベルのチームのキャンプとして別府市にポテンシャルを感じたか教えていただけますでしょうか。
Yeah, we've been really impressed with the facilities. Yeah, the ground is exceptional. The gym facilities are world class, and we really enjoy Beppu as a city. We've managed to go down into the city and experience a few restaurants and get around at night time and yeah, experience that culture, which is important to switch off and really enjoy Japan. So yeah, from a performance point of view, the facilities have been world class.
Ian,
Okay, go ahead.
just to go back to Ardy, this is the first time I think that anybody's actually heard that he'd got this deteriorating eyesight. How much of a concern is it, obviously, for the team management, and what is the long-term prognosis as far as you know?
Oh, look, it's not a concern from us. From a point of view, we're not surprised. He's been dealing with it for a few years. So, but when he comes up the last week or so and says that he just felt it was deteriorating a little bit, so clearly, I've said it before, we've got great medical staff, so we just trust all the research they've done, and they've come up with this conclusion, and Ardy's been able to trial it, and it was a great week to trial it, really, from a sense that we've trained pretty physically. It's been hot, it's been humid. We had a day that we were attacked by dragonflies at training, which was quite unique and quite special. But he's come through that really, really good, and he feels really confident. So as far as we're concerned, this is just a standard safety issue. It just looks a little bit different, but it's not unique. There's other players playing with it, and I just think it's great that Ardy's been willing to make a decision for his health and protect it, and he's going to follow through with that.
And this will have to be our last question. Go ahead.
Ian, slightly different note, but Canada's side does have the first female team manager at a men's World Cup. Do you envisage a day, I guess, when women in that sort of role become more commonplace?
Yeah, no, I read an article about it. I thought it was great, and I don't see why not. There's no reason why it shouldn't be like that. I guess it's all about credentials and qualifications and experience, and from the article I read about it, she's done a fantastic job. So, yeah, no issues.
Thanks very much. I'd like to thank Richie, Ian and Beauden for coming along today for the pre-match press conference. They're going to head down and do some kicking for us, I think. So if the media can make their way down, Ian particularly will be doing some kicking, so that should be fun. If you can make your way down, the guys at the back will lead you down to the field where you can have 15 minutes down on the pitch. Thank you very much.
I just want to, they're not kicking to show off to you boys.